Good morning, good morning to all my state of the market people. Good morning, good morning. Good morning to all my state of the market people. How's everybody doing this morning? Jim in Florida. Happy morning in Maine. Did you get any eggs from the hens? I do have some video of them free ranging, but I don't have any eggs yet. Let me see here. There we go. There we go. I will not get. They're only a few months old. So good morning from Guy George Koss. Vicky, not so good morning. Why? What's wrong? Yeah, our eggs come in December. It's supposed to be Smile Day. Isn't it today, Vicky? You're telling us it's a global Smile Day? Northport, we did miss you. And Hogan apparently is somewhere off the coast of Maine cruising. Also, did you miss? Hard to smile with a migraine. Sorry, Vicky. Did anybody, this is the first incident. How many people here have the government shutdown affected yet? Anybody? I'm just curious. This is a poll. It's a simple poll. Well, we're all affected just slightly because there's no non-farm payroll number. So right now, what government shutdown? Well, there's no non-farm payroll number because the Bureau of Labor Statistics is closed. I would say here the thing that's affected the most, at least for me, is like VIX is just not moving. The market looks good. You're right. We got the ADP number was a little weak. Well, I think that we're going to talk about that today a little bit. We're also going to talk about, I don't know if anybody was here yesterday, but Frank was talking about, the government getting a little bit more involved in rare earths, taking stakes in certain things, certain companies, and what's happening today. So right now, I would say VIX is not a trade. And for right now, I'm considering exiting all my October positions in there 3 weeks early, which I don't normally do. I'm going to probably wait the weekend and see if there's anything active, but we could be pinned here for a while, similar to going into the election last year, where volatility continued. Like basically, there is a dynamic in the market, which I'll explain in weekly profit cycles to my students, that the longer the shutdown lasts, the flatter VIX will get. So I don't believe there's a huge trade. There's a November trade possibly, but I don't think there's much for October right now. That could change over the weekend, but for right now, it is not. Right now, it is not. And the mark, I believe, at this point, the way the market is pricing VIX is traders are basically pricing a long shutdown. Okay, and I will, for For people in weekly profit cycles, we'll touch on a little bit in Rip Zone today. Again, you're interested in any of those services, sign up. We'll be talking about that today. But so the NFP number, there's no NFP number because there's a government is shut down. US Gov is shut down. Nobody's at work. Another thing too is a big part of this shutdown is reallocating those COVID dollars. And right now they're trying to basically start shutting the tap off on them. This is all spending that was brand new after 2020, 2021. And they are trying to shut some of that spending down. Let's see how successful they are. Pricing along shutdown. Okay. So here's a little piece of trivia for you. Okay. Who owns the longest shutdown in the history of the United States of America? Trump. That was 30-something days. Now, you can like or not like Trump, but he does like doing things bigger and better every time. Would it surprise you if he went for a longer shutdown in round 2? It would not. So that's in my calculus at this point on how the trade goes. So I'm going to say right now, DJT goes for the record. He will not budge. So again, I'm not saying whether the shutdown's good or bad, right? Because you out of trading, you want to take your politics out, because although we will talk about when it's important, when the government does things that can help us make money, Frank is a master at doing that. Right? So, and we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. When the government decides to get behind something, right, it goes. There is no, and as far as I can tell, there is no limit to what the shutdown can be. So you think I should dump my VIX 16 and 21 calls? So Rawhide's asking that. I would say, Rawhide, we will get a little bit of a picture after this weekend. We're not going to lose anything by going over the weekend. Some Democratic senators could blink. It's possible. But Monday, Tuesday, I'll look seriously. I wouldn't do anything for the weekend because anything can happen over this weekend. But all of a sudden, and basically the real simple answer is you always want to, sometimes you just gotta get out, basically, right? And if you look at VIX here, you're not getting any motion in anything, right? The VIX is stuck around 17. The market's not moving at all. Our 17 puts, I think they were $1.20 last week. They're down to 80. All of these puts are just slowly losing value. And the reason why VIX is not moving, because volatility is just going to continue to grow into the shutdown, because when there's uncertainty, all the sellers step out. So the shutdown that looked like there was going to be some caving at the beginning and all this, it looks like the two sides are digging in their heels. I believe the politicians do get paid during the shutdown. They get paid during the shutdown. They get medical benefits. They're not on Obamacare. I think they've given themselves a sweet gig. All right. So that is kind of where where we are. And that's the situation. Who put the crazy glue in zone 3? Carlton. I know. Yeah, realized vol's like 2% right now. So, but it's a situation you have, and then sometimes you just got to say, this is our situation, and you got to call the ball and move along. All right. So now, do you guys remember yesterday, not very long ago, Frank was talking about this stock. Okay. Another rare earth company, and this is a theme that I think is going to grow in import, especially with this administration, but also it happened in the Biden administration, right? Do you guys remember early on all the green stocks? By the way, I sold my last of my calls today, and we'll talk about a U.S. air trade here today for people that, you know, that want some excitement. Because I just rolled my last calls up. But what happens is when the government wants to get involved, or there's so remember all the Green New Deal stocks went flying and flying and flying? I'll give you an example. Okay. Here's a stock called ALB that, you know, I've traded this in Flash 5, and we made some decent money in it. It was trading in the 50s, closed it at 80. So it's like a $25 run on the stock. It was a good stock for us. But if you go back, when we were riding electric vehicle mandates and all this stuff, this stock flew to the 300s. There are many stocks like that. Do you guys remember Fuel Cell? What is it? FCEL? Do you guys remember this stock? Right. Now, again, presidents and administrations. I know. Can you believe it? This is here, and it was there. They hadn't even done anything yet. Right? They hadn't even done anything yet. So, but the point is, and this is Frank in my ear all the time now. So Frank's with me in Capital Gains, also Special Situations. I don't know if you can sign up for Special Situations anymore on that deal, but Capital Gains is available. He's like, you know, when the government starts to get behind something, you want to ride that wave. And you don't want to leave it. I will also be talking about that next week. But for right now, this was the Green New Deal, like green energy was going to take over the world. The problem was they never made any money. Fuel Cell to this day, right, is not really making any money, is not a profitable company yet. Maybe they will be, but they're not making money now, right? So currently, what's going on? The U.S. government paid Intel some money, right? Paid Intel money in the Green New Deal, or that semiconductor deal, right, under Biden. And then all of a sudden, Trump wanted equity for that deal. Okay, now this is a stock that hasn't done anything in years, is now trading $37. Right? There is a mandate to make chips in the US, and very few companies, except for Intel, have the fabs and stuff here. Okay. Another one Frank had mentioned to us. I'm still long these shares. I actually sold some 10 calls, but if I get taken out, I'm just going to buy the stock back. Again, the government is pushing behind these things. Right now, a little bit of a difference now is the demand for rare earth magnets, the demand for lithium, creating these, right, is real. Like, they're going to sell stuff. The US is going to sell it domestically instead of China. This is a real push. The latest, also another stock from Flash 10. Frank was very early on this, MP. Okay, MP as a name, and a lot of my students, we all got taken out of it probably in the, I don't know, I think $40 range, $38 range for me. I'm like, I'll be able to get back in. Announcement came, boom. So government wants domestic production of critical materials. Okay. They expect to be able to make money. They're getting businesses to commit, and the logjam is rolling away. This is a very different trend. Right? MP will be a profitable company. Uranium is another one. We're waiting for that, Johnny P. We're waiting for that. So asking about uranium, I'm talking to Frank. So again, in capital gains, we'll be talking about uranium more, but there is some uranium stocks or nuclear energy stocks. Frank got us into SMR when the stock was like $2, $2-3. I've traded in and out of that. Currently, I have no position in it. But I've traded in and out of it. And we're waiting for the administration to push behind nuclear energy. Like SMR OKLO is another one, right? They can recycle uranium rods or something. That's what I guess their gig is. I can see the congressional pay thing is getting people a little angry. So what I'm trying to draw the picture here is one of the next big areas I would believe is the government will start, like, we need energy. Energy prices are going up. We got to start green lighting nuclear power plants relatively soon. All right. Got to have that Cadillac healthcare plan. All right. So that brings us to this stock. Is Portillo's an undervalued asset play? I hope so. WA. Well, one thing I want to say is, how would you trade USAR? So this is a stock right now. So I just sold the last of my call spreads in here. I think with volatility, so what I want you to notice is how high volatility is. It's crazy high. Like, I'm just saying for myself, I don't mind buying the stock at $17. I would just sell these 17 puts. I'll just make it easy. But it is not for the faint-hearted. It is not, because volatility is so high here in this thing. It's crazy high. The stock was $16. The stock was $16 3 days ago. Anything could happen back and forth, meaning the vol could expand, like the stock could, because remember, this is all flying on the potential. The CEO And that's another idea. Mike Lasage is saying pair with a call spread. I think that's a great idea. But because this thing, Rawhide said, I'm holding with 20 call. I just sold my 2030 today for $4. And I'm going to just look to buy something else. I'm just going to keep rolling it up. But again, this is a Frank idea. So this company just got $100 million from an investor. To create a vertically integrated company to create rare earth materials that companies in the US will buy. Right? These ventures will make money. The biggest part is the environmental roadblocks that these companies face right now that are getting moved, that are getting pressed down, I would say. It's going to be a lot easier to do when everybody's furloughed and fired. Just saying. Like I'm watching you watch what's going on. Yeah, like across many products, turbo, capital gains, like, we want to make sure we're long this thing. I think the shutdown was part of the big plan, to be honest, if I'm speculating. So I think here you sell the 17 calls, and the volatility in the upside here is absolutely crazy. Crazy. So from a trade point of view, what can you do? You sell a couple of puts, and then you go buy like an 8-9 point call spread. The second thing I wanted to show you is kind of understanding what a short squeeze is. So right now, this stock was shorted because nobody believed, in the hype initially. Oh yeah, sorry about that. I'll just write it up here, right? So, all right. Short squeeze is a special situation. I would look at the 16 or 17 level puts to sell in November. Now, by the way, this is not, this stock can move. It is up $10 in 2 days. Me personally, if I get put, I'm going to buy the stock down there. Just saying. I do not think this story is over. But the volatility is so high, right? Here, just you want to see a funny chart? The only thing that's more moonshotty than the stock is the volatility chart. Now, this is volatility going from 1010 to 160 instant, right? That is crazy, right? 60 volatility points higher. It'll look a lot higher if I get rid of the realized vol for one day. There you go. Weep. So there are interested players in this name. The volume is very high. And again, to me, the easiest way is to just roll your gains up. Rolling your gains up means, you sell, you take your money off the table, and you spend a little less on the next run up. Again, I think there is nothing to keep it from being a $30 stock. If the U.S. government decides to, again, get like they did similar with Mountain Pass, a lot of pre-funded interest, stock goes higher. I think the easiest money, though, is just selling a downside put with the volatility so high and being ready to take delivery. Now, here's another name that we are running a trade in capital gains called BBAI. It is and this again is the only part of the budget that went up in the one big beautiful bill that actually would increase was defense. A lot of that is for drones. This particular stock, a congressperson, and I know who it was. Let me get this over here. This is kind of fun. Let me get the name for you here. I thought I dropped it in here for him. But there is a Congress lady, who bought shares of this after a closed door meeting. BBAI. Take a look at this one. Now, this stock has been around a little bit, but it's definitely coming off the basement floor. I currently am short some puts in it. I think we're short the 6s. Again, AI, drones, government is pushing these technologies. This is Big Bear AI Holdings. So the point of today's is insider trading legal now? Well, if the congressperson's buying it, right? So what I would say here is these are all very right. Okay, and then buying upside call spreads. $10 wide spreads. The volatility is so high, these wide spreads look good. Okay. Insider trading is only legal if you're in the government. It wasn't Pelosi, it was another one. She was like a Republican from, I've got the name somewhere. Anyway, drones, all these little drone companies. And this was one where it was disclosed a congressperson bought a bunch of the stock in the middle of September. She bought it late August, disclosed it middle of September. BBAI is Big Bear Holdings. I'm just providing information. Next week, sign up because I'm going to show you the next big government trend. The next big one. So there will be links and stuff for that later. I believe special situations is over. But next week, if you like this kind of when the government decides to do something, the stocks go one way, we'll be talking about that next week. Right? Maha is coming. Make America healthy again. It wasn't Bubler from Colorado. It was a female. I'll find it. All right, everybody. It's 10:30. We got some ideas. We'll show you how to trade it. I gave you some ideas for USAR, how to trade it. And more coming next week. Thank you for stopping at Option Pit. Have a good day.